Welcome back to the Realm Report. It's been a frustrating month as we struggled with a brief server outage, but things are now back to normal. I'll share more on what happened in a bit, but for now, let's jump right into the topics. Last month, the group over in Akkadian hosted a Mediterranean-themed build competition. Several oldies headed over there and managed to put together some pretty cool builds. First place went to the team of Sam and Giggy, who were awarded 4,000 gems and a Mobhead trophy. Second place went to Deadly Striker, who received 1,000 gems, and Willow came in third. Thanks to Akkadian for hosting the competition, as well as everyone who participated. The biggest thing to happen this month was obviously the shopping district revamp. Last month, UnworthyChicken came to me with the idea to completely overhaul the look of the shopping district and move it away from the grid pattern that was a carryover from the Tanktown days. To do this, we essentially lifted the shopping district out of the old world. It was dropped into a super flat world where the groundskeepers, along with Black Lightning, were able to relocate the shops through the use of structure blocks. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to actively participate in this project due to outside obligations. However, I was provided with several photos of the revamp as it was happening. I've compiled them into a little montage, and I'd like to share those with you now. So with the revamp behind us, we've opened up a lot of additional space for new shops. Thanks again to UnworthyChicken for coming up with the idea and overseeing the entire project from beginning to end. Black Lightning for helping to relocate the shops themselves. And Zulu for, Knowing that the old world would be down for a few days, I figured I'd use the opportunity to clear out some of the old player data that has been unnecessarily contributing to the file size of the world. You see, when a Minecraft world reaches more than 10 years old, you end up with a bunch of dead profiles from the hundreds of people who have connected to the old world over the years. In an effort to keep this process organized, Mama, POS Princess, and myself spent a night working on a special logout location, which ultimately became known as the Stasis Chamber. Unfortunately, there were a few current oldies who weren't able to make it to the Stasis Chamber on September 7th. Those people have been temporarily removed from the server and switched to applicants in the Discord. If you happen to be watching this video and you're one of those people, just message me in Discord and we can work on getting you back onto the server. Thanks to everyone who took the time to log out in that location. As many of you are aware, on September 12th, the old world became the victim of a server outage that kept us offline for the majority of the day. This came shortly after the world was updated to include the newly revamped shopping district. While researching the issue, I was informed that a structure block had remained in the old world after it had been uploaded to the server. Now, a structure block on its own is no cause for concern, but a structure block in a survival world that has achievements on, that's a different story. So how did this structure block accidentally slip through the cracks? That's the thing. This was no accident. In fact, I believe that this was a focused effort to bring down the shopping district and cripple the economy of the old world. And this attack was perpetrated by none other than... Actually, let me back up a bit. Following the completion of last month's Hide and Shriek event, I was alerted to the existence of some footage that showed Princess had been carrying illegal contraband throughout the duration of the event. As punishment for this crime, she was sentenced to 24 hours in the capital's prison. Now, as warden, Lynn is responsible for admitting all criminals to the prison, but interestingly enough, Zulu also came to assist in this particular instance. Now, I've suspected for some time now that tensions were high between the A&W members, in particular between Princess and Zulu, as both appear to be vying for leadership of the group. So when I saw the footage of Zulu escorting Princess to her cell, it looked to me as though A&W may have actually split up behind the scenes. But as it turns out, this may all have been a clever manipulation tactic, orchestrated by Zulu to keep everyone in the dark about what was really going on. After Lin went home for the night, it's my theory that Zulu returned to the prison. There, he worked to regain the trust of Princess while simultaneously filling her mind with thoughts of revenge against me for exposing her as the criminal that she truly is. Little did she know that she was playing directly into Zulu's hands, as he was only using her to keep me preoccupied while he finalized his own plot under the guise of the SD Revamp. Princess then spent the remainder of her sentence working on a plan that wasn't so much evil or threatening as it was incredibly annoying. When I returned home to the White House, after a long day of mining and crafting, I was greeted by a piece of contraband in an item frame at my front door. Unknown to me at the time, this was the first of several I would be finding all over the White House in completely ridiculous locations. Unfortunately, this kept me pretty distracted, up to the night I entered the stasis chamber as we headed into the SD Revamp. On the final day of the revamp, while Black and Chicken were hard at work on the other side of the shopping district, Zulu placed the structure block in an area he knew they wouldn't see. And knowing that I had absolute faith in Chicken's leadership, after all, the whole idea for the revamp was his idea to begin with, the structure block was able to make it past me and found its way into the old world. Fortunately, it was removed before it could have the impact that Zulu was hoping for, and things returned to normal. But I can't help think about what this means for the future of A&W. After all, Zulu went rogue and attacked the old world entirely on his own. He manipulated Princess and left her in the dark on what he had planned. It's clear there may be some trust issues moving forward, and I guess only time will tell if the two are able to work together again. Beginning next month, we'll be introducing something I'm calling Multiworld Monday. On the third Monday of each month, the multi-world will be replacing the old world on the server for the day. There are two reasons why we'll be doing this. The first is that there is a growing portion of the player base that enjoys the occasional return to the multi-world, so this will give them at least one opportunity a month to spend some time over there. The second is that this will allow me the time to perform any maintenance on the old world while it's down for the day. This doesn't necessarily mean that this will be the only time the multi-world will be up on the server in a given month. After all, I have no way of predicting when Mojang will drop a random update or patch. However, some things will be changing with the multi-world moving forward. Earlier this month, I put out a poll about lifting the existing restrictions on the multi-world, and more people were in favor of making those changes than not. This means that I've removed the barrier blocks and expanded the world to an infinite map for the purposes of resource gathering. One thing to keep in mind is that anything built outside of the bedrock border will be reset each time the world goes up on the server, so any building should still be done within the original map. One of my goals with the multi-world is to keep the file size minimal so that we can easily return to it as needed. We'll see how these changes work out and make any adjustments down the road. The multi-world is very flexible. We can experiment with it and test out different ideas. Be sure to let me know any feedback you have on what we're doing with it in the future. A new type of channel hit the Discord this month, and I'm sure many of you aren't sure what to make of it yet. If you're familiar with old school message boards or even Facebook groups, forums are essentially a more organized method for discussing a specific topic. These differ from threads in that they're more permanent and have greater visibility. One issue with the existing Discord channels is that so much conversation happens throughout the course of the day that it's easy for important posts to get buried in all the noise. I'm looking for ideas on how we can incorporate forums into the day-and-day happenings of the old world. One idea I had was for people to make a dedicated forum post about their specific shops. There they could share information, advertise, or communicate anything that's happening with their shop. The forums come with filters that'll help keep everything more organized. I think there's a lot of potential for integrating this new channel type into the Discord and making it a tool to better serve the old world. In fact, as time progresses and more people get familiar with them, they may ultimately make certain channels obsolete, but we'll see how that goes. If you saw my post in the forums recently, you're well aware that Goldwater's hotel didn't fare too well in the shopping district revamp, After being forcibly relocated to the slums, we were faced with no other option but to decrease our prices by 500 gems, as travelers have been staying away in fear for their own safety. Despite this, one person who has been very supportive with keeping the hotel afloat is Upton. He's back with us today to put your fears to rest and prove how safe the hotel actually is. Leg Doctor will be holding another build competition over in next month. There was some controversy the last time one of these was planned, as several oldies expressed their dissatisfaction with the limited plot sizes that were available. However, this time around, Plague has assured me that there will be plenty of space for anyone interested in adding their own Japanese-themed builds. Plague is also seeking to charter this area at some point, and could use more people who are looking for a new primary or secondary allegiance. So if you're looking for a change of pace, you should consider taking part in the competition, while also establishing another base for yourself. Plague will be providing more info on prizes and the actual start date in the next few days. Jungle Run number 2 was held on September 25th. This race expanded on the original concept by adding a bunch of new obstacles and sections that weren't present in the first one. Ultimately, Zulu won the race, becoming the first 2-time Jungle Run champion. This was something that's been talked about for a while, so thanks to BMX and those who assisted for taking the time to set it all up. If you have any feedback on improvements that can be made for next time, be sure to let him know. With the expansion of the Multiworld, one thing that will also be added is the End Dimension. This means we'll have a brand new Ender Dragon to face off against soon and another battle for the End. On October 30th, the Multiworld will be up on the server for the day so that everyone can make preparations for the battle. We want to increase the difficulty a bit this time, as all of us geared up in our fully enchanted netherite armor made things a little too easy last time around. So I'm asking that nobody wear anything higher than diamond if you plan to participate. Also, if you're killed during the battle, you won't be able to rejoin the group. This is just another way of making it more challenging for everyone involved. Afterwards, we'll be holding the second annual costume contest. Last year, this was held following the Willow Classic 3. But with this being the day before Halloween, we'll be holding it after this event instead. Mark yourself as interested if you plan to attend. The Battle for the End 2 will be held on October 30th. And that wraps things up for this edition of the Realm Report. See you on the server.
Because it's an only sometimes ladder.
Oh, if you've got some pictures already, tap Sam off of here.
No! We have to wait for Princess! No!